ITV's Stephen Mulhern has come under fire from Leicestershire tenants claiming they are enduring squalor at a property he rents out. They have brought to light allegations that the catchphrase presenter's £165,000 abode is beset by damp and mould concerns, igniting health fears among them. The house in Glen Parva is part of the ITV favourites' extensive £4 million property portfolio. Nevertheless, an investigative piece by The Big Issue exposed that it apparently suffers from relentless problems causing residents' health to worsen. According to the occupants, efforts to alert Connells, the managing agency, regarding the distressing conditions were made. Images emerging from within the dwelling depict pervasive dampness and mold smothering the walls, but residents claim complaints have been met with indifference from Connells amidst continuous tribulations, reports Leicestershire Live. A resident, who continued their essential service during the COVID-19 outbreak and chose to remain anonymous, vented their exasperation concerning the sordid living environment. They commented, "We worked our butts off as key workers during COVID. Who tunes in to watch and support Stephen Mulhern while we're paying him rent to live in squalor? My housemate pointed out the damp issue during an annual inspection 2 or 3 years ago. The agent merely recommended that we ventilate properly and keep the house warm during the winter. We did, but the damp gradually worsened." A humidity meter bought by the key worker reportedly showed moisture levels of between 70% and 80% inside the property. This, they said, convinced Connells to install a positive input ventilation system, but it only alleviated the problem for a short time. "It has turned me into a gloomy, rather dour person," the tenant lamented. "I've become more irritable, and my focus has slipped, leading to frustrating mistakes at work. The dire conditions have even sapped the tenant's enthusiasm for physical activities. I used to love playing football and exercising regularly, that was my outlet. However, I've lost all interest in physical activity," they disclosed. The property, acquired by Mr. Mulhern's firm JFDI Productions in April 2020, remains embroiled in a 2-year-long dispute. Despite the new ventilation system, tenants claim the issues have only intensified. The tenant expressed their frustration with both the management and Mr. Mulhern. They stated, "I despise how little they seem to care. The landlord is a millionaire, profiting off our misery. Stephen Mulhern is part of the same system that treats tenants like disposable income streams. My home is Hungary, and I am now planning to return there. The property we are renting will hopefully become someone's home one day. It would be selfish to think only of myself and the state of this property. This isn't just a personal issue, it's a national one." The tenant stated that resolving the problems was the bare minimum they expected, and they are also seeking compensation. Furthermore, they are calling for stricter legislation at the national level to prevent other tenants from suffering the same fate. In a statement to Leicestershire Live, a spokesperson for Mr. Mulhern said, "Stephen was absolutely mortified to learn about this situation and the awful experience the tenant has faced, which is clearly unacceptable. Stephen had not been made aware of any of these issues as he relies entirely on an independent company who manage the property on his behalf. Having not been aware of the issues until now, Stephen has taken this matter into his own hands immediately and has personally requested for a team of damp specialists to visit the property to make sure that the problems with the ventilation and mold are resolved as a matter of urgency." They added, "We have contacted the tenant to express sincere apologies for the distress and frustration the management of this matter has caused. This falls way below the standard Stephen expects, and he is doing everything possible to remedy this ASAP, and this process is already underway."